Last week at Amsterdam Dance Event, I sat down with SALVIONE for his Elevated Academy conversations. We chatted for 30 minutes about social media tips for DJs. We chatted how to make content, what content works, and how to make your content go viral with some secret tips. Lock in, because this 30-minute conversation is packed with information that's going to help you level up your content, level up your social media, and really improve what you're doing as DJs on social media. Now, I was a bit of a doofus when I was setting up the cameras and the mics for recording this piece of content, and I should have mic'd Mike with his own mic so that he had audio from him as well. My sound is great for the responses, and Loz has managed to boost up his sound with some clever editing. Yay, Loz. And it just goes to show that everyone gets a little bit nervous before they speak or DJ in front of lots of people, and things get forgotten. And I got nervous, and I'm very sorry. And I hope you can hear what his questions are. You'll be able to hear my answers, don't worry. Let's jump into this. Let's go.
All right, so as we know, in today's day and age, you can't just put out great music and expect to be successful. And social media plays a big part in that, as we were just discussing before. So we have Grahame here of Data Transmission. Hello. So Grahame, why don't you give us a little rundown of what you've done?
Hi, I'm Grahame. How you doing? Yeah, so basically I started in the music industry in 2003. I worked for a nightclub called Turnmills in London for like 5 years before it shut. And we got to book like all the best artists in the world. Like we gave first shows to like the Swedish House Mafia, and like we paid 200 quid for the Swedish House Mafia to play in the back room. We paid 200 quid for Justice to play in the back room. Like crazy, like we literally booked to everyone. We had the Eric Prydz first ever show, and he had to get the boat because he couldn't, he wouldn't fly back then. Like crazy, right? And from then I started a website called Data Transmission, and I nearly ran that for 17 years in February. And then 10 years ago I started working with some artists. There's an artist called Ben Sterling I used to work with. Him and his dad used to come around my house and show me a lot of music, and we kind of talk about social, we talk about networking and sending his direct tracks out. And then essentially I helped him get some music signed to a label called Hot Creations. And then from there he kind of skyrocketed. And after that it was like, well, if Ben needs it, then I'm sure other people would need it. And I learned so much from working with Ben and kind of going, well, I know all this stuff, right? I'll just start putting it on YouTube and Instagram. And then from there I've got a YouTube channel which is like 44,000 subscribers now, where I put out a video every week helping artists how to learn social media, how to grow on Instagram, how to grow on SoundCloud, and get more streams on Spotify, and the importance of streams on Spotify, and just become artists basically, literally from their bedrooms to touring the world.
That's amazing. Like you've built out some of your stuff, it's great content. I'm sure everybody here has seen it in some capacity.
Thank you.
So in terms of content, as somebody that's just starting out, or you're small, you don't have a big following, socials can see like it's like a daunting task. You see like the Fishers of the world, and people that have teams behind them, just like really polished content. And it seems like it's like a hassle to really create something. Like what would you suggest to those people in terms of creating content and how they can kind of get over that?
You're right, they have teams. These are big artists, have teams. So when you start out, do one social really, really well. Just pick one, whichever your favorite is. Like, don't try and be on every platform. Like, it's stupid, you just can't do it. It's not, firstly, healthy, it's just not practical. It's a lot. You have to learn every platform and every way to make the content. So just pick your favorite and go, right, this is my one. I'm gonna learn how to post. I'm gonna learn which parts of the platform post the best. I'm gonna learn what content works. I'm gonna really just study every artist on there and what content they're making and go, right, I like that bit of content. I can probably do that for myself, and I can flip it into my own way of, I could say something the same, right? Once you start doing that, you learn everything about the platform. Like, there's so many little things. Like, I was in the meta chat earlier, and there were a lot of people post on stories, and stories go to nobody apart from your current fan base. So if you're trying to grow, then it's the wrong part of the platform to post on, which if you didn't study the platform and learn it, you would just sit there doing stories and stories and stories and stories and stories and think, I'm not growing. When you actually need to use reels, and you need to use them at least once a week, and because that's the actual growth place. It shows it to loads of new people that have never discovered you. And then it's down to like, what is the content you need to make that happen? And the content is literally, you've got to hook them within a second. What's going to pull them in within 1 second, or they're swiping. I've been thinking about this content series for myself for like a while. Like, you know, when you post on the socials, you post a flyer of your artwork. How many people of those people that see it are even in the same country as the event on the same day, don't have to get a babysitter for their kids? All of these things, like how many of those can actually then go to that event? Well, I was thinking, like, if I go and stand in the middle of the city centre with a flyer for an event that's in Guatemala, how many of those people can actually go? And how many people just walk by and completely ignore it? Well, that's the same as posting on the feed, right? You're better posting the flyer on the stories because then you at least know it's the engaged fan base.
It's smart, so kind of knowing where to post what in terms of within that platform.
Yeah, 100%. The big mistakes I always see is people posting the wrong content in the wrong part of the platform. And that then deteriorates that piece of content because it doesn't work on that part of the platform. That means that people aren't entertained by it. And it's always like, when you think algorithm, you always think people. Do people like that piece of content? Do people want to interact with it? Do people want to comment on it? And if people want to do that, then other people will want to do that. And that's how the algorithm works. The algorithm goes, well, these people liked it, or these people were engaged enough to say something about the post. So therefore, we should show it to some more people to see if other people like it, and other people watch it, and other people engage with it, or watch it all the way through. And if that happens, then it kind of spiders out, basically.
Makes sense. So in terms of content, like right now, what content do you find that's really working at somebody who doesn't have a team or anything that could pull off?
Again, well, so with content, it's like, what's the goals of the content? What are you trying to achieve from your page? If it's, I want more DJ gigs, I want to play all over the world, then your content strategy is solidly music, DJing. The guy Fish 50's Oxygen guy, right? He's now playing all over the world because he's built 1 million followers of literally pulling out a piece of vinyl and going, this record's fucking sick. And he uses 6 different hooks in his first part of the record. Which one of these 4 do you like? These are 3 tracks from a label I like. Which one's your favorite? You're gonna watch it and go, well, it's not 1, it's not 2, it's definitely 3. But then you've watched all of the video and therefore he's hooked you in a second because he's gone, which of these do you like? 4 records that I'm into this week. And all he's doing is going, here's a load of music you should listen to. And essentially that's all DJing is, right? It's when you're standing up there, you're going, here's a load of records I think you're gonna absolutely dance your tits off to because they're great. And that's all you should do on content, really. It's like, these are some records that I really, really love, and I think you might love them because that's how you build a fan base of other people that go, yeah, actually I like that record, it's sick, I'd go and dance to that. I'd go and watch you in a club, I'd go and pay 15 euros for a ticket because your record selection is great.
You're basically DJing in your content.
I said, yeah, and that's all that Fish 50's Oxygen is. He's basically DJing in content by going, this is great. I think you might like it. If you do, let me know in the comments if you do like it, because I'd like to know which of you like these sort of records and these sort of records, because then I can kind of test what types of music I like. And from here, he's very broad. Like, his content is across all genres. So if I guess from a content point of view, you go, well, if loads of people are vibing to drum and bass, let's put a little bit more drum and bass stuff out just to see if that grows the audience a bit more, you know?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And so from a production standpoint, what do you find that is really working that people kind of pull up?
Production is a hard one because unless you're a massive artist, it kind of comes into that grey area. Should I share what have I got the right to share what I've learned? But then are you better than the next person? That's kind of the education I think of. Like, do I know a little bit more than the next person? Well, yeah. And then if I've done something really cool in a track, share that little tiny bit of it instead of going, I've done this track, it's got some bass and some kicks and some drums. Because that's not actually, that's just sort of showing off. It's not actually educational, but it needs to push into the education space because then it's more shareable.
Of course, it makes sense. If you're like the highlight instead of just like a whole like little bit.
Yeah, I'd rather know how you change that vocal to make it sound really cool than just going, oh, it's got some kicks and some bass and some drums. And, right. Well, every track's got that. Yeah, it's fun, but it's not kind of educational. It's where does it need to sit? Is it in the education or is it in the entertainment?
That makes total sense. And we talked about a little bit putting stuff in the wrong space, right? Content, you know, like goes on the story that should be in the post and vice versa. In that, like, what are some examples that you've seen? It's like common pitfalls that people can kind of avoid, you know, doing.
Always the ones where it's kind of like square posts and it's like, oh, I must put everything in a reel. Someone said somewhere I need to post reels, so everything I do is going in a reel. Whether it fits in the reel and it fits in that kind of vertical space, it doesn't matter, I'll just post it. Well, no, because if it's got little black bars top and bottom, then Instagram go, well, it's not a great piece of content, it's not quality content, so we'll not show it to as many people because it's not the best. Like when you're filming content, film it vertically, people watch content. We all sit there and go, swipe, swipe, swipe. We want it like that. So make sure it fits like that. If it is something that's square, then it goes in carousels because people will swipe over.
Makes sense. And so, in terms of like swiping the reels, we talk about how, once a week for a reel, I know carousels are kind of becoming more of a thing without really potentially you're an expert with that, but what do you find right now is important for people to be posting?
I always think, what is healthy for you? If it's healthy to post once a week and do one really good quality post on the platform that you've chosen, do that and make it the absolute tits. Because it takes you ages to learn that. It's like when you're making music, right? When you're learning to make music, it takes you ages. You have to learn how to do shit and you have to learn the processes. And then after a while, you go from it taking a month to make a track to maybe a couple of weeks to maybe a week to maybe a few hours, right? And the same with making content. You've got to learn the programs to make the content. You've got to learn what's going to hook someone in. So take that time and just do one real banger, as long as that stays healthy. And then you get that working right, then you can get to 2, then go do 2. You look at football teams, they'll post 15 times during one game, but then once a day for the rest of it, but because that's what works for them. I can do every day, I can do once every 3 days, or once, like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, depending on what else is going on,
Yeah, of course. And so obviously the more you have to post, the more you can kind of just build it up as you go, basically what you're saying, kind of on the platform, and as you can tolerate doing more, because you don't want it to take away, you have to obviously be on socials these days, but you don't want it to get to a point where you're sitting there making reels for weeks, you're not making music, you're not DJing, and things like that.
100%. Like I was saying with someone earlier, someone you were saying about in his cab, he's swiping. I do that. I sit there and I'll swipe and swipe and swipe, and I'll go, oh, that's a cool idea. I'll just save that into a little folder. And then after about a couple of weeks, I'll go back and go, right, what was those ideas? How can I make that into some content? And then I'll make loads in a row. And now I have someone that helps me make mine and we chop up loads of my content, but I'll just sit and go, right, how can I make that? How can I make 5 in a row? And then I don't schedule anything. I just kind of go, right, Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday I'm doing that, Wednesday I'm doing this, Thursday I'll do that. And then if I wake up and I've got nothing going on, I'll post first thing. Because I know like before 6 o'clock, you kind of hit a nice sweet spot in the morning where people kind of wake up and there's a load of content, it gets loads of views. But if I wake up and I'm super busy, or I'll go for a run or whatever, it'll be in the evening and I'm not stressed about it, because I know even in the evening is still a good time because you hit a load of different audience.
Makes total sense, especially, like I do the same thing, like swipe file. Like I was like, oh, and then save to a little folder, and it's just ideas that you can kind of take and make your own. I think it's something that people should definitely do because it makes social media cool in that sense.
But also, like, look at when you watch something and you watch it all the way through, go back and watch it again and go, what made me start watching that video? If it's a fluffy cat, then obviously you can't do much about that. But if it's got some words on screen, well, what were those words on screen that made me want to go, okay, I'll watch this,
Yeah, like really studying it and breaking it down, because then you can kind of apply those techniques into your content base.
It's the same with like when you make a track, you put a track in, look at the arrangement and look at where things happen in the track, and then basically make your track off that reference track. We'll do the same. Pull down the piece of content, put it into CapCut, and literally go along and go, what happens at a second? What happens at 2 seconds? What happens at 5 seconds? What happens at 10 seconds that makes me watch it all the way through and literally reference track content.
Well, that's a great technique. I haven't thought about it. That's going to use it. I do love a good analysis, like I love to do it that way for social stuff. In terms of metrics, 2025, end of the year is coming up, so next year, what's the important metrics that people should kind of be looking at and pushing forward?
Instagram Reels is always views. Does someone watch it all the way to the end? Do they watch it twice? Do they watch it 3 times? And now in your insights in Instagram Reels, you can see how many times it's been watched, how many replays you've had. Views are more important than comments and likes than anything, because if someone's watching it, that's telling the algorithm, we should show it to some more people. We'll go and recommend it to some more people and see if they watch it all the way through. Carousels, even if you swipe, that's a metric. And people, if they swipe and swipe and swipe and watch, that is triggering and going, people are watching all the way through. They're watching only 5 of it. And that's then a metric it will show it to more people to see if they do all the same. Obviously comments and likes and saves. The big one now is shares. Are they sharing it with their friends? Can you get them to share the piece of content? Like if say you've got 3 downloads and you're giving away a free track and you put a post on Instagram and say, I've got a free download, send me a DM and I'll send you the track. Well, when they DM you, go to them, here's the track link, but do me a favor, go and share my post on your stories, because then it's shared to a lot of their friends and hopefully then some more producers, and then that's, drives the reach up.
I love that. Because you think about it, what kind of content in terms of music, like, do people share? Like, I know it takes like a certain thing for me to go, hey, check this out. So like, to think about that in terms of your content. That's a good method to kind of do that. It's like, guys, can just give it a little share. Like, yeah.
The other one I use loads, people have seen my content, is I'll say comment something, comment a word, and then I use an automation called ManyChat, and it's absolutely sick. Basically, I can set 15 different types of reply. If you comment the word, it'll pick one at random and then reply to you, and then basically send you a DM with whatever I'm trying to send you to. Like if it's a new video, I'll say comment whatever, Insta tips, and it'll basically message you the video, and then you can watch the video straight from DM. The good thing about whenever you do that, and when you have those DM conversations, Instagram goes, these people are friends, right? The only reason you message people is because you're mates with someone. Well, if they're mates, then let's show each other more content, and let's show them the next pieces of content to see if they interact with those. So by opening up the DMs and opening up the conversation, it's basically going to help you get your content to more eyeballs. With that, you can also I put in loops. So if you're giving away something, you can actually get it to say, check whether they follow you. If they don't follow you, you can have a different message that goes, hey, you don't follow me. If you want my free stuff, here's a link to follow me, and then it automatically sends you the next message and goes, now you can have the free stuff. Now you're a follower, you can have the free stuff. And then also, like, I can set a delay for 24 hours later. Did you manage to download the free stuff that I was giving you, or watch the video I was giving you? And then they'll reply going, oh yeah, or I watched half of it, or I watched 5 minutes of it. Oh, thanks for the reminder. And then you can jump back into the conversation and go, oh, okay, cool. Because you kind of kept that conversation going, but you're automating the conversation.
Yeah, and how important would you say it is to use a tool like ManyChat in terms of people starting out?
It's a good tool. It really does grow. I know one of my friends runs some massive social media channels for some really big artists, and that's the only thing she uses apart from organic content. They have some amazing organic content because they're huge, but little things like that they'll use for the bigger artists.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, like being able to automate it without very good set conditions and stuff. And it's not too hard to set up in terms of like the backend computers. Like it's very super fun.
No, it's really easy. And actually, they have a course. You can actually there's a free course within ManyChat. They teach you how to set it all up. But it's really easy. But also, when you're using it with Reels, and Reels are getting shown and recommended to people when you're asleep, basically. If someone comments, then it's going to reply to them, so then you're still building an audience and building a communication with someone whilst you're sleeping.
Yeah, can do automation as well. Speaking of auto things, what is your take on like AI and social media? You know, people with the telltale like ChatGPT captions and things like that.
I love AI. Like it's like your virtual assistant. I'm actually having a conversation with it at the moment about a book that I want to write. And I asked it, like, I want to write this book. Here's an idea I've got. Can you ask me a load of questions to see what my thoughts are? And it's making me go and research, and I'll kind of come back and go, ask me some more questions, and let's see if we can flesh out this idea, and let's see if we can take it further. And I like it for that kind of thing. I don't like it when you kind of just go, write me all the content, because you can tell it's, right, ask me some stuff that I already know about, and let's see if we can come up with a better idea together, you and I, from everything you know and everything I know already. How can I make that better? Or here's some content that I really like this piece of content. It goes like this, it goes like this, it goes like this. How can I do that? And then see what it comes up with.
Yeah, using it, like you said, as an assistant, I like that. I like a partner in the process where it's just being creative, because it does not really do either. You're kind of putting your knowledge, you're giving an idea, and kind of going back and forth to flesh that out more so than just typing it in.
Yeah, I gave it like all of my YouTube scripts. Like I literally sat and uploaded hundreds of YouTube scripts to it and said, can you make this into a book? And it's sort of like doing it for me. But and I'll go in and check in and go, all right, where are we up to word count? And they'll go, and I'm like, it's up to 10,000 words. I want to review this. There's some stuff that you don't know. Ask me new things and I'll give you more information. Or let's revisit things and see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely do the same thing. I think that's kind of the really important takeaway is, if you see it, you can tell that people use it just like pump out, social media stuff, and you know when it's not human. So I think that's a key point for sure.
Also, you go lo-fi with it and go make it really AI-y and go, just make it stupid and kind of play on that side of it. If you're a character and you are fun and that's what you're about, just do really fun, stupid shit with it and go, I made this in AI. Look, it's a bit jokes, but that's what I'm like. So.
I've definitely seen that too. It's kind of popped up people like roasting themselves with AI and like things like that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, before we get to Q&A, is there anything you think you need to add to share with everybody here that we kind of benefit them and big takeaway for me?
Do you know, there's content on your phone already. In your camera roll, you will have filmed something. There's content there. I put a post up yesterday, I filmed a video, I was at O Beach last week, watching a friend DJ, and I literally filmed 10 seconds, and I turned that into a completely different piece of content because I wanted a DJ video, someone DJing, and I literally wrote over the top of it loads of information, and it's got 50,000 views or whatever, because essentially it's a different piece of content than it was originally purposed for. There's content in your phone already that you can turn into your next release or your next track. You can literally walk down the street with you film your feet and then put your track over it and go, here's my new track, and literally type over, my new track's coming out, I didn't know what content to make, here's some feet, and have a listen. Reading all the stuff on screen and it's playing around and around and around, well that's a view, and there's another view, and there's another view, and basically we've got all the views we wanted and extra.
That's good. I like that. All right, so we'll open up to some questions. Anybody have a question out there for Grahame?
If you were starting from zero, which platform would you choose?
Would I choose? YouTube.
Interesting. Why?
Because if you're DJing, then you make DJ videos and you film yourself DJing, and you do one every 2 weeks. And again, you learn everything about YouTube. So everything about YouTube is titles, thumbnails, packaging, what's in the description. But you don't, if you just put up a video of you DJing and go, my new mix one, well, no one's searching for my new mix one, but they are searching for a Latin tech mix for their barbecue that's a party. And if you think about what's in that title, then that makes it searchable, then therefore people find you because of the music, and it's a great platform for DJs. And also, it's got 2.6 billion users a month. And the final part to the platform is when you're at an after party and it's 5 AM and everyone's looking a bit sketchy, which platform goes on? Someone puts a laptop on and they fire up YouTube and they just put mixes on.
Yeah, so if we're using Instagram Reels, but should we also mix in, for example, images? Like I know that doesn't really do a good job of sort of going viral like posting for videos. So is it worth mixing in images? Should it be specifically just Reels? What are your thoughts?
There are ways to use images in Reels. There's actually Reels templates. If you go into Reels, there's a whole template section, and essentially there's templates where you can load in multiple images, and it kind of flicks through it, and it plays a track underneath, and it kind of keeps it entertaining because they're like 3 or 4 seconds long, and they kind of flick. Like from here, if you're at Amsterdam and all you've taken is loads of photos of your whole week, go into Reels templates and find one that works. That's just like got 20 images, and it's just going to go bang, 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 and it kind of plays a track of your choice. It's interesting and it's entertaining, and people will watch it and go, oh, that's a fun photo, that's a fun photo. And it kind of uses those photos well. If you just want to use photos, then just post a photo, because those one-shot single image photos are actually really good for engagement. And they use a different part of the platform and a different algorithm because they're more engaging. Those single image photos are going to open up loads of engagement. It's not going to find you new fans, but it is going to build a better relationship with the fans you've already got.
Okay, so we can use single image photos?
100%.
Okay, without worrying.
Oh yeah, 100%. You should mix your strategy should not just be Reels. It should be some Reels, carousels, photos, notes, stories, maybe live. Mix up the strategy, because that's a full strategy. Using one part of the platform is, like I was saying earlier, not learning all the platform and not getting the most out of all the platform. Like Instagram's got 6 surfaces, and you need to just use all the surfaces, because you'll find different fan base, and each one has a different purpose. Like Reels are great for finding new fans. Carousels are really good for finding new fans, but they're also good for kind of that deeper engagement with fans. Single images are really good for deep engagement with your fans. Stories are only getting shown to your current fan base. And then if you go all the way down to broadcast channels, well, that's your really, really super engaged fans have joined your broadcast channel because you're going to give them a little bit extras or something extra. Again, learn all the platform and use which bit, the part of the platform that you're trying to get the most out of or trying to achieve, basically. If that makes sense. No worries.
What's your take on TikTok? Like how easy it is to go viral?
Oh, I like it, it's cool. My focus is YouTube and Instagram, and they're my platforms, so I learn them and I learn the hell out of them. But it's a great platform. Like short form content in there, you just gotta go heavy on it. You've got to go heavy on video. Carousels on there work really, really well. They get super reach at the moment. Using live, once you've got the ability to use it, grows a fan base. Whether it's going to convert into ticket sales and streams and monthly listeners, maybe, maybe not. Depends on how you use it. Can you convert them into following your playlist or your something on Spotify and driving them straight to Spotify, because that kind of connection might work okay. You can definitely use it for free downloads and kind of building a SoundCloud off of it, because hey, I've made this, or I've made this kind of, what do you think of this beat? Should I finish it? On the next TikTok is, I've done a bit more, should I give it away? And you've kind of got 4 or 5 bits of content, and then you're giving it away and driving people to SoundCloud, and you're turning those people from TikTok into SoundCloud.
Okay. If you had to choose today, TikTok or Instagram, start over.
I love Instagram. I really do. I think it's great. I still use Instagram. I just like that platform. So if your platform's TikTok, then again, do it well and learn the platform and learn everything, every little thing, like how do you get engagement, how do you get comments, how do you know, what's growth on there, and just learn it inside out.
Not sure what ADE or Amsterdam Dance Event is, then you should check out this video next, because it's going to give you all the information of why you should attend, why it's good for you as artists, DJs and musicians, what you're going to get out of it, and why it should be a key date in your diary for next year. Go and jump into this video and I'll see you in there. I've been Grahame. See you soon. Bye bye.